Warning, this read aloud contains probably some dirty language. So viewer discretion is certainly advised. I'm doing this on a whim, and I hope you enjoy it. SpongeBob and Bowser, the forbidden love of a Peripheran and a Koopa. Written in 30 minutes without using the backspace key. SpongeBob yawned and stretched on his stack of plush, firm mattresses and gave an seductive glance to his snail Gardy, who had fallen asleep on a stack of nest papers at the foot of the bed. He removed his black shiny shoes slowly, and then his white sks, tossing them aside. "Not tonight, Gary. I have a guest." "Meow," replied the now awake snail. "No, Gary. Oi said you can't join us. I don't want you to get shellous of his shell. See what I did there?" "Maui," Gary said. He receded into his shell. Blue-balled another gnight. A thin crease of light poured into the room as the door creaked open. With a thunderous step, a spiked foot entered, followed by a massive body. His scales brushed against the sandy floor, his trail trailing behind him, the spike scraping against the metal. "You want some fuck?" asked the sponge to the Koopa King that before him. Bowser snarled. He stepped forward, kicking away the newspaper and the snail that lay atop it. Gay exploded with delight, and exploded actually. Shards of calcium carbonate penetrated Bowser's hide. Bowser shook off the shards and snarled angrily at the gory remains of my favorite character voiced by Tom Kenny. Bowser put a foot onto the bed and lifted his massive body onto it. He surveyed the spongy body, his pores soft and luscious, his pants tightly hugging his rectangular frame. Bnowers removed. No, he gripped SpongeBob's pants with his claws. I began to dig at them playfully. SpongeBob giggled at this and rubbed his thin bony hand against Bowser's face. Bowser tugged harder, leaving the sponge and solely his squange paints. "Oh, Bowser," said the euphoric sponge, "don't tease me." Bowser snarled. With a swipe of his claws, the elastic of the underwear was severed. As the cloth fell to the sides, revealing a spongy yellow package. SpongeBob was surprisingly flaccid. Bowser's cock grew erect at the sight of this cute sponge's butthole. Although he had like 20. Not sure which one he grew erect at the sight of. His spiny Koopa cock expanded, falling onto the cushiony mattress with a deafening thud. "Oh, Bowser, you are so big," SpongeBob said, as I wanted to type "goohe," but I thought it was awkward, so I typed big instead. His spongy, thin penis began slow and gorge with whatever sponge penises engorge with, since they do not have ill blood. I assume water thnu. He rubbed the soft part of his chest claw. This is Bowser I'm talking about this time. I can't go back and fix that. Against his spongy SpongeBob chuckled. Agab precum forming at the tip of his diminutive penis. Bowser snarled. Am I allowed to copy and paste that every time? He bent down his horned head and gave SpongeBob's pensy a long sloppy lick. Saliva dripped down and caressed the spongy ball sack beneath. "Oh, Bowser, suck my dickle," Bowser snarled. Oh God, what? I'm so sorry. I am so sorry. Oh my god, I am so sorry. He lowered his head, wrapping his scaly muzzle around the sponge's pulsating erection. He caressed his length with his tongue. Damn it, I said caressed in the last paragraphy. He bobbed his head up and down, eliciting a moan from the sponge. Bowser soon lifted his head, a trail of saliva pre-connecting his tongue to Bob's length. "Oh, why'd you stop?" the sponge whinnied. "Shut the fuck up, bitch," Bowser snarled. He reached down and spackened SpongeBob's quadrilateral behind, and left a red mark. "Harder," squealed the sponge. Bowser smacked harder, his claws nearly digging into his backside. Bowser put his claws on SpongeBob's shoulders and forced him to lay flat onto the bed. He lined up his draconic cock to one of Sponge's hoels. He smirked at the sight of the particularly small one. "Wait," SpongeBob cried. "Don't we have any lube?" "Shut the fuck up, I forgot to bring the waterproof shit," Bowser snarled. He forced his hips forward, sushing the tip into SpongeBob's tiny putt pore. Spongiobo squealed in Appin and ecstasy. Bowser huffed a puff of smoke somewhere underwater. I don't think Tia's through. He bucked his hips, forcing an inch of his spiky cock into SpongeBob. Swaying poor. I hit enter there. Sorry. He gripped SpongeBob's corners tightly and thrust forward, forcing the entirety of his Cooper erection into his behind. SpongeBob cried, tears welling beneath his eyes and dribbling into Bowser's cock. Bowser pulled his hips back and thrust in again, pounding against SpongeBob's inner walls. "Oh, Bowser!" SpongeBob shifted his butt, forcing more of Bowser into him. Bowser began to hump in earnest, reached D around and gripped SpongeBob's cock and stroked it vigorously. His claws scratched against the length, his chipping off the pieces of the sponge, ruining the sheets. "I'm gonna come," SpongeBob exclaimed. Bowser released SpongeBob's erection from his claws. "Not yet, you little shit." He removed his penis from the SpongeBob's power. He grabbed his 3-pound body and lifted it. He leaned forward, laying on the bed, and he held SpongeBob above his head and lowered him into a spiky shell. "No, Benowers, I'm not ready for this," SpongeBob cried, his tears welling beneath his eyes. Again, what a crying bitch. Bowser ignored SpongeBob apostrophe DBS plea and smashed his body into the bed's spikes. Each spike was entered inside a hole. SpongeBob released a blood-curdling scream. Bowser's tail whipped back and forth. Smalked SpongeBob's back, forcing him lower onto the spikes. One spike found its way into SpongeBob's eye socket. Bowser was jerking himself furiously as he lifted himself up, the sponge affixed to his back. He rolled back over the bed frame, smashing himself back first onto the floor and splattering the sponge. SpongeBob's hand, with Dick gripped, flew across the room and smashed against the window. It still jerked it furiously. SpongeBob's disembodied dick jerked and twitched as it cum shot with as much volume as a $5 soda from the Krusty Krab sprayed across the room. Bowser stood up, still jerking his cock and brushing off the remains of his lover from his shell. The cum shot smashed into his face and he reeled back. The Bowser felt his cock and twitch and jerk as well, because that's the only way I can describe the moment before orgasm, and he came in a little bit. He collapsed, exhausted. SpongeBob's mouth said he enjoyed it. That was a dramatic reading of SpongeBob and Bowser, The Forbidden Love of a Periphean and a Koopa. I am so sorry. I need to take a shower. I need to take 2 showers. This has been Love. And if you liked what you see here, comment, rate, subscribe, like, and comment, and subscribe, and like.